Commencing recording.
Okay, so you currently find yourselves in a very lively bar and it is a bar and not a wealthy one, but not a poor one. You know, you're kind of in the medium part of town.
I've
Um,
only got a black screen. It says I don't own a token.
oh, hang on. Did I miss you?
I am also on the black screen.
Hang on. Pause recording. What?
Then I shall also resume recording.
There you go.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to respond to my advertisements. It's possible you know who I am already, my hedonistic, libertine, laissez-faire antics long the moneymaker for the tabloids. I am Lord Reginald Hammersmith, Knight of the British Empire, 16th Earl of Triplepon Wold. The world that doesn't read tabloids knows me as the most generous man in the Empire. Last of my line, and heirless, I have sworn to liquidate my family's worldly possessions, a worth of £500 million sterling, of which 100 million still remain. The question is why. I am still in my prime, and heirs may be had. The truth, which only to now has been shared with one other, is that I am cursed. My grandfather was leader of the expedition to Nakada in Upper Egypt. He was first from the modern world to lay eyes upon the tomb of Pharaoh Sekhmet Moses, the son of Sekhmet. In his time, the pharaoh built a grand temple to his patron god, long since lost to the sands. My grandfather was also first to read the curse that inflicted him upon his entry to the tomb, unbeknownst to him, death unto the seventh son. A man of science, he disregarded, collected his discovery, and returned to England to a hero's welcome, knighted by his majesty. He died unexpectedly on his 40th birthday, leaving behind an infant son. My father. My father married out of university, had but one child, as my mother died in childbirth. 17 years later, I inherited the title as the 16th Earl when, on his 40th birthday, my father died at the peak of health. As I assumed tenancy at the family manor, I discovered this study, which we are not currently sitting, however, which looks very similar to this, with feverish research into my grandfather's work, and a letter to me, penned on the eve of my father's death. This letter laid out his theory that, should he die the following night, that the curse of Sekhmet was real, and gave detailed notes. Then and there I swore it would end with me. I have lived a life of uncaring ease, for what does money or consideration of the future mean to a man that knows the exact minute of his death? I had nothing to live for, until a fortnight ago. I received word from a friend in the Department of Antiquities that something interesting had been found in Egypt. Early word was that it was the lost temple of Sekhmet, but further confirmation never followed. My father's research surmised that the hand of Sekhmet could be used to lift the grave robber's curse, but it was lost along with the temple. So, here's the contract. I am hiring you for an expedition under my authority as Emeritus Honoré with the Department of Archaeology to go investigate this report. The temple may hold for you fabulous wealth beyond even what generations of my family accumulated. For me, the chance to see another sunrise. I have already endorsed transfer of 2 million quid to each of you. This expedition will last no longer than 54 weeks, including transit. For, you see, today is my 39th birthday. One way or another, this mission ends in 1 year. There will be compensation if you return my body to the family estate for interment in the sum of 50% of my remaining assets. So, do we have an accord?
According to you
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
I'm in.
We're just gonna assume yes from the others as well.
Excellent. Then I shall give you time to prepare your things, and I shall turn the rest of the narration over to our esteemed narrator.
Okay. So before we get into that, let's have your other two people introduce yourselves. What's good? What you got going on? Maybe what you look like if you decide. There is a random knife on the table. That was just me testing things. Ignore it. In fact, I'm going to delete it.
Good practice.
Hans, you go first.
Okay. I am Hans Frankenstein. Uh, my family name has a little bit of trouble in Europe. My great uncle had this foray into digging up the dead and trying to reanimate, and he was greatly mistaken. Uh, I and my associate, Mr. Cricket, have come along to join this expedition and take up Reginald's offer.
Very well. Do you want to talk about Mr. Cricket at all, or just let him see him in combat?
Uh, I mean, for right now, Mr. Cricket is basically the reverse of three kids in a trench coat. He's barely over 3 feet tall, wearing a like large brimmed hat and an overcoat. Stands very quietly, doesn't say anything.
Gotcha. Oh no. And you can hear faint clicking and whirring from him.
Sounds like a loud watch or settler.
Alright,
I
Sam.
certainly carry no prejudice to your family's name. I remember and read extensively of Victor's work. I found it quite elucidating.
Alright, Sam, your turn.
My name is Pinu, and there's not a whole lot to share. I have no family, and the streets are my home. But I have many friends.
Your clothing ripples suspiciously.
And that's all they're gonna get.
Well, alright then.
I certainly respect your option to remain private. I do respect that.
Okay, so alright, I'm gonna have to play with that other one later. So we're gonna fast forward a few weeks. You have indeed met back in that same bar. You've all got your gear. Now, there are multiple ways. As he said, the temple has been rediscovered. The local British garrison has taken it over. The commander, hold on, I've got his name here. Blah, 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 blah. Is one Colonel Tottenham of the 461st Royal Infantry. They mostly made up of veterans of the Great War. Some of them are, you know, eager to prove themselves, and the others are just tired and just hate being stuck in the desert. You know how that goes. But the tomb itself was discovered by some sewer workers underneath a mosque, actually. The
Oh, that won't pose problems.
nope. Uh, the mosque was getting, shall we say, air conditioned with raw sewage stench, to the point where they lost a side room because it hit a open brazier and it blew up. Methane and all. And so they sent the sewer workers down, and they accidentally broke through a wall and found this ancient temple. And they brought in an expert, and he said, "Oh, Sekhmet," and promptly got taken by the British. who have now secured not only the temple site and walled off that original hole, but they've also taken the mosque and have been digging into its foundations to make easier access, which, as you can imagine, is going very well with the local population. The imams are very pleased about people digging up their mosque.
Also explains why my friends are a bit frenzied lately.
Uh-huh. So, uh, the treasure that Sir Reginald is looking for, Lord Reginald, whatever, has not been confirmed yet. But again, the garrison, the few that get to come out of the dig site for R&R or whatever, have been very tight-lipped about what's going on. They are under strict instructions to not reveal any information about what's happening at the dig. The workers that are being hired, well, quote unquote hired, more like pressed into service, they get housed on site. They don't get to leave, but they're routinely bringing in more and more fresh workers, even though they haven't had anyone come out. So people are going in, never being seen again. There are several options to get in there, but you guys are going to want to talk about them. I want to hear some ideas from you, some back and forth.
Well, the
Sir
first thing.
Reginald, hold on. Sir Reginald does have a contact with a local, uh, a man of many friends named Carlos the Jackal, and we'll get into him if that's something you guys want to talk about.
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is perhaps speaking with some of the local imams. I am well known, at least in Turkey, to be quite familiar with the religious observances of the local Islamist.
See, and I'm thinking of remember in Count of Monte Cristo, you said I pay quite a large amount of money to be informed of things in my cities or whatever.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm thinking here. I mean,
Sure.
you run around money, why not? You, Sam, have obviously gotten much better living conditions since you talked to Sir Reginald. He just gave you £2 million.
I'm sure
Which in
my
1930s money is some real walking around cash.
I'm gonna
sure
do that conversion real quick.
my wide network of friends can help us find a way in as well.
Yeah, I never actually did do that, finish converting that. How much did my family have before I wiped us out?
Let's see here. 2 million. Holy balls. Okay, £2 million in 1930. Today would be worth 124 billion pounds.
Wow.
Oh, pardon. Sorry, that's 124 million. Stupid European comma decimal thing.
Oh,
Still,
okay.
122 million increase.
Oh my god, if just 2 billion was gonna be that much, my family was gonna be a trillionaire.
You're not that rich. Sorry.
I thought I had done some cursory and research into that.
Okay, so we've got thoughts of Peeny's friends checking things out. We've got thoughts of talking to the imams. Anything else?
And then,
I
of course,
mean,
we also have my contact. So.
if it's the British army that's taken over it, can we waltz in there waving Royal Archaeological Society?
You could try.
I mean, my
I mean, you
character
guys
is
haven't actually.
basically built for bluff.
You guys haven't actually tried that, but you can. It is the Royal Army.
Alright, what if we make contact with some of the locals and get their view of things. That way we know what we are walking into when we do throw up the Union Jack and say, "Sup, brothers?"
Oh, jeez.
I'm on
Okay.
board.
Okay. We're gonna theater of the mind this because I did not build that.
All good. Left field already. I'm so sorry.
No, that's how the game is played, man. Literally. All right. So what are you guys trying to find out? I want specifics. Don't make me build an entire world in my head again.
All right. I think the
Getting in.
What? You being
Access
sassy again?
access to getting in.
Okay, so the main access is through the mosque. Like I said, they're digging new ways to get into the temple easier because uh, they don't want to go through. It's the Brits. They don't want to go through the sewers. They've in fact walled off that bit in the sewers where they accidentally broke through.
have they set up a perimeter around the sewer access and the mosque itself?
Not from the sewer side. There might be something on the temple side, but there's no reports of anything in the sewers for the Brits. They really don't want to go down there if they don't have to. There's one or two at the nearest sewer entrance, but those are the ones who've pissed off the sergeant major lately. The mosque itself does have a perimeter. There were protests a couple times, but it's the 1930s and it's Britain, so that didn't end well.
Well, I smell opportunity amongst the other sewer gases.
People do mention that sewer workers in this area, the buildup is so bad, sewer workers aren't allowed to carry open flame or use metal tools of any kind, just in case.
Comforting.
That is indeed vital information.
So don't light any torches.
Yeah, if they're lucky enough to get a flashlight, which usually they're not, more often they just go by touch.
Oh, yum.
The
I went off
British are
the
supposedly, there's a rumor that the British are digging new ventilation shafts because they don't know if setting off the sewers will damage the temple. But we don't have a progress report on that.
I am.
Do the
Hans will
locals
let
have...
the party know that Mr. Cricket may be advantageous should we choose to go the sewer route. He has an aptitude in darkness and can put up with the stench.
You also find out that some people have been trying to go through the sewers to sneak into the temple and tomb loot tomb, but they are also going in and never being seen again.
Methane's probably killing them. You're not
What?
supposed to.
Real
Any
possibility for the majority.
I don't even think my friends would want to stay down there.
Sam, let me get what kind of a check should I have you do here? First roll of the night.
I imagine they're abandoning a sinking ship.
Very stinky sinking ship.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. I cannot use an NPC sheet for this because they are not set up the same as a PC sheet.
Yeah, so I'm discovering I'm not...
Okay. Sam, why don't you give me an investigation check? And you know what? Do it with advantage because you've got so many friends helping you.
Okay.
And then remind me what the actual question was because I've already forgotten.
I have a feeling my friends don't even want to be in the sewers. If that's what we're talking about.
Got you.
What am I rolling from?
Investigation. It should be. I think it's actually a charisma
Intelligence.
or intelligence. Sorry, you should have a decent intel.
On your character sheets, under details, you got all of your relevant
Acrobat.
abilities.
What am I doing? A perception check?
Investigation.
Investigation. I just clicked on it. Did it do anything?
I see nothing.
Nope. Let's see. Do I click on it?
Investigation.
Wait, can I click on it? Oh,
Oh,
when
it
it
brought up
pops
the
it,
secondary.
yeah, just click normal, I would presume.
Oh no, advantage.
Oh, advantage. Sorry.
Yeah, it brings up a secondary rolling
It's
screen.
not. Is something popping up for you? Oh, there. There we go.
I mean,
There we go. Knock it off, Alex.
a non-nat 20. Okay. Wait, you
Wait,
rolled
what?
2d20. You didn't roll with advantage.
I did roll with
2d20
advantage.
kilowatt hours plus 1?
Yeah, the equation is weird.
I mean, I'll hit it again, but that is advantage.
Oh no, you did. You did. Never mind. I just pulled it down. You did. You did roll a 19. Dang. A non-nat 20. Okay. Yeah. So the little whispers you're getting are telling you that the choking air is only at the upper ends of the tunnels. If you duck below it, most people are okay.
Yeah.
Because I just confirmed that methane is in fact lighter than air.
Well, yeah, and it would be warmer given what it is and hot air,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. Yay, high school chem. Well, actually, junior high chemistry.
All
Crap.
The
right.
class may
These
or
days I'm
may
gonna be.
not have blown up the ceiling.
Well, that's how it was going through the mosque, is it was rising up through the vents and such.
Hmm. Well, then I'm gonna relay to my party. My contact said we need to dive down deeper.
You needed to go in crouched.
It's alright.
They also said there are multiple people down there, and they tend to be not very nice. They are
So
constantly stepping on and hurting your friends.
Yes.
then
Sometimes even eating them.
I say we just light a match then and clear everyone out.
And half the city.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, that would include my friends, so I guess we're not doing that.
Yeah, that is a plan.
I like where your mind is, however, let's tone it down just a little before we start going all Guy Fawkes on everything, you know?
Oh, jeez. You know, world would be so different if he'd succeeded.
I have no desire to
You
take
know,
my con
for
out.
all of its faults, there's something to be said for parliament style democracy. It really eliminates a lot of the two party problems. It brings with it a billion others, but at least it would
No,
solve
it's
one problem.
well, I mean, it's the same thing we got. They just have a lot more parties.
Yes,
It's not just two mega parties.
we have the liberal liberals, and then we have the conservative liberals, and then we have the liberal conservative liberals.
Hmm. Labor and Tory are the big ones, but they have so many. I think Italy has like 45 major political parties.
Let's see, how fun would that be? Could you imagine state legislatures with 45 parties?
I would love at least more than two. You know, at least like 5 or 6 be great.
Well, maybe once the Republicans are done imploding, something will happen.
Oh, I'm waiting for post-apocalypse.
Eh,
After the world comes back together and we're like, wait, that didn't work. We should do this different.
Well,
I feel
first contact's in 2063, so we gotta step on it.
After World War III.
Like I said.
we're way out of character now.
Oh, Sam, half these sessions are way out of character, and you know it.
Alright, well, uh, perhaps we could use the short being as a scout. I have no doubt I'd be able to convince the guards to take a walk.
Oh, you can definitely try it. Try bribing the guys posted at the sewer entrance.
Alright, I am going to
As well.
make a charm with
Hi.
before when I make a charisma check after roll, but before determining outcome, I can roll an influence dice and add it to my result if I so choose.
Okay.
And so I am going to attempt to sweet talk the guards and convince them to let my friend just do a little investigating. This small child just wants to take a peek. It is the 1930s after all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna take that,
Yeah, you gonna do that extra bit?
yeah. Of course, I forget what was the influence die. D8.
Isn't
There we
it on
go.
your front sheet? Oh,
Yep,
yeah, D8.
I was just checking it. So, uno D8. Oops, that's a D10.
Oh, wow. So a total of 18.
Yes.
The guard informs you that tourist visas are 50 quid.
I happily slip him 50 and another 50 for your troubles, my good friend.
They they ostentatiously both look in every direction but yours and Cricket's.
As
Alright,
in the
my young child, please have fun, go play.
Cricket is right in there.
Okay. Now you're gonna wait for him to come back out, or
I would like to make small talk with the guards.
okay?
Ah, so have you been enlisted long, or were you drafted?
Okay, I'm not doing this. You're way better at that. Uh, they tell you they're both very young. They've only been enlisted the last couple of years.
Uh, I remember my first posting. It was actually in Turkey. A great, wonderful place. Wonderful coffee. And, just truly cherish these time, boys. So, tell me, why in the world are you guarding a sewer? I thought they would walled off the place after they made whatever it was, the crypt, was it?
Roll an insight. Oh wow, good insight. Also a non-nat 20. So you know those two teenage interns on Monsters Inc. How they're all screechy voiced and inept at everything. Picture those in
Okay.
Royal Infantry uniforms. They give you this BS story about um, fire damp and not wanting any locals to get hurt. They are so obviously lying through their teeth.
Ah, chaps. So what's the real story? I mean, obviously the generals and all of them say one thing, but I mean, it's all bullshit.
I mean, usually.
Look, sometimes it's fun just to stick it to the man. Or stick it in the man. I mean, just don't do it in some countries. But
Oh, jeez. Okay, so with your good-natured ribbing, they do admit that even though the temple wall has been walled off, they are there to make sure that nobody goes down and tries to unwall it and go in. But the sewers are such a labyrinth that they doubt anybody could even find the entrance on purpose.
Though many try, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, yes.
So, what are the going odds? I know you're betting on it. Every time you see somebody sneak in, what do you think?
uh 10 to 1, honestly. They've got a pool going in the company.
10 on 1 surviving, or coming out within a few minutes choking to death?
Surviving.
Yeah.
Most of the people who go in are locals who don't understand how oxygen works.
How can I get in on this bet?
You'd have to enlist.
What if I tell you I was reserve?
They can't take you at your word. Even a posh bastard like you.
Okay, now I actually gotta see if I got something character useful as opposed to bullshitting useful here. Oh, wait, I think I do have something.
As you're chatting,
Yes.
a rather large looking figure, quite obviously local, but with impeccable English, comes up and greets the guards and asks, "Who the hell are you?"
Ah, inshallah salam.
Assalamu alaikum. Now answer the question.
I am Sir Reginald Hammersmith, Professor Honore from the Department of Archaeology.
Very well. And what are you doing here, Hammer Dick?
I appreciate the good ribbing, my good man. Ah, no, I have a long-standing history in Egyptian antiquities. I've been up and down the Nile for close on to 20 years now, and I had heard of a recent discovery. I was eager to dip my toes into new research.
He pulls back his jacket, revealing the biggest revolver you've ever fucking seen, and says, "Go dip your toes elsewhere."
My good
And he
man, we,
looks,
we speak the same language. I respect your time, your service, and I bid you good day.
and as you walk off, he looks at the two guards and goes, "Did he pay a tourist visa?" And they're like, "Yes." And he's like, "Wait, who went down?"
I'm going to presume there are other exits to the sewer, and the creature is smart enough to realize maybe not come out the same hole.
I don't know. He's a clockwork robot.
That's fair. All right,
All right, so
mechanical iron
knowing
man, help!
knowing that this was going to go down, I'm going to use uh, my
Oh
robot can
wow.
do specifically at level 3. I can choose 2. Towards the bottom there is skill protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're replacing computers with mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
my mechanics is +7. I'm going to apply it to perception and investigation,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going down there just to scout. So he is looking for anything and everything, uh, whatever seems pertinent.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna say he finds another way out and back to you.
Okay, does he pick up any indications of pathway to the temple? Any sort of um, signs of major foot traffic.
Okay, so when he reunites with you, he does in fact tell you there are definite signs of occupation down there, not even just traffic, but actual somehow living down there. Signs of multiple people. The tracks and signs all kind of go in one general direction, but there's no light sources he could find. And the air is very contaminated.
And one of the features of a mechanical companion is night vision.
Oh, no, he can see.
Okay.
There were no other light sources.
Okay. I just want to make sure there wasn't like it was just pitch black and he had to stumble his way around.
Oh, that would have ended very poorly.
Okay. So I will relay that information to the rest of the group that there appears to be inhabitation, toxic air, and yet no sources of light.
Okay. Now, Brian, as you were walking away from the guards and the dude, you did hear the name of your buddy Carlos being mentioned.
No, perhaps we should go visit my fixer.
That's basically what he has.
Alright,
Okay.
I would like to go in with a heightened sense of... Why did he mention my buddy's name?
Probably a good idea. Caution when dealing with an underworld figure is probably a great policy.
Is it a name that I recognize?
Oh, you very, very much recognize Carlos the Jackal. You've never been important enough to merit his attention. And that's a good thing.
Yep. I like to keep it that way.
You've known other people who got that important, but it usually ended poorly for them.
Exactly. I don't want attention.
He is known to reside in a luxury hotel basement, which, according to rumors, is even nicer than the hotel itself.
Yes. Yep. Mogi, I needed that screen. She literally just, like, flopped her head right on the escape key.
She knows which ones to push.
Yes, you know how to push my buttons.
Every woman does.
You'll have compliments from Sam.
I don't know if that was a compliment. Okay, so you're gonna go talk to Carlos?
So, yes, I think perhaps...
Are we doing this as a group?
You can. Again, I didn't build this, so it's all theater of the mind.
If you are expecting us to go with you, I'm going to hang back.
Perhaps going with one body man would be wise. Perhaps the rodents could scout around the area of my friend's place of business.
Rodents.
Boy.
Your friends, my apologies. I am still
Vermin.
having trouble understanding.
Gonna give him a side eye and go find my consultants.
I'm
If you
rolling
do
to
wish to
charm Sam. Oh shit.
What was that?
That is a nat 1.
I said I'm rolling to charm Sam. Well, I think that's as successful as I've ever been with you.
Would you care to use your reroll of the night, sir?
No rerolls in real life either.
I think Sam just gave the answer.
Yeah, I think you just, like, smacked her on the butt and said, "Get to it, dame." Something like that.
Huh. One of
Well,
my,
it is within my character to do such a thing. I mean, such a lovely butt.
It is the 30s. Women have very few rights.
draw back a bloody stump. You try that again.
I respect your boundaries for right now.
That's gonna open a few doors.
God damn it. I can't access my character. Why?
What?
Moogie hit some. Oh, you logged me out.
Oh,
You entirely logged me. How am I still playing the game? Cat, not only are you weird.
but also incredibly effective.
All right. What do my contacts have for me?
Uh, I'm gonna need your contacts to roll a stealth because this is in the nice part of town, and they will be noticed.
A nice part of town. Well, we didn't make a sheet for them, did we?
There's a sheet. You should have access. There's nothing on it, so it's all base rolls.
Well, that ain't gonna work. Okay. They would be
Yeah, I'll give you
proficient
advantage
in
with stealth.
stealth. Okay. Gonna say they're the size they should be.
Wow, with advantage?
Well,
Ouch.
we didn't do anything to roll them up.
5 and 5. Yep.
Okay, you do not get a whole lot from your friends, the ones that survived.
That's because my little fatties probably sat and ate instead of coming back.
Roll a d20.
Me?
Yes.
Which one is that? No?
Second to last.
Or I just type in the 20.
Or you just type in the 20. That's how many you lost.
Well, we don't know if they died or just gorged themselves and can't move.
No, they did. You'll replenish within a day. But right now you are down to 3. Quit spitting out your binky.
I apologize for your loss.
Well, that's why we need to do their character sheet.
Yep. Oh boy. Half baked is an overstatement right now. Okay. Okay, so what the survivors are able to tell you isn't much, just that there's very few ways into this underground chamber you're interested in.
I thought we were staking out his friends,
Yeah,
whatever.
Carlos the Jackal's business.
He's in a basement.
Oh,
Oh, gotcha.
right.
The only reason
the
he's not in the
luxurious
hotel,
basement.
yes, the only reason he's not in the hotel itself is because he's not British or European in any way.
Well, with a name like Carlos, it's obvious what he is.
Oh, jeez.
Are you
He's American.
Southern drawl going on? You lost your accent.
He was doing a different character.
Yes, that's because
Apparently a Texan.
that was sarcasm.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. Well, with that information, I'll stroll up to the front door and hand my business card as introduction to his doorman, and wait to see what the answer is.
The doorman recognizes you, and with a quick slip of a 20, ushers you into the lair of the jackal. Now, Carlos himself is a very unassuming man, very short, slightly built, still has all his hair and teeth. His problem is that he's actually Venezuelan, and he came over on a work visa and was discriminated against by literally everyone. The Europeans for being South American, and the Egyptians for being South American and a Christian at that. And so he literally had to fight his way up the ranks of the underworld. The man has a body count not seen since the war. Allegedly.
Hmm. I assume we need dead bodies.
Yes. Yes, I have never used that in the other sense.
My dear, we
That
don't
would be
question such things. My good friend Carlos is certainly not associated with any of these presumed disappearances.
yes. No one who's ever displeased him has ever been seen again. And when asked, he says, things disappear into the desert all the time. Why not here?
I barely know him.
I didn't ask anything.
Oh no, the question has been asked before, and the questioner then disappeared a week later.
Oh. For asking if he was promiscuous? Interesting.
He will deny all such things as a good Catholic boy, except his lair is full of bodyguards and scantily clad women. So,
He's also done me a few favors in exchange for some certain considerations.
yes, he brightens up when he sees you and says, Sir Reginald, it has been too long.
Ah, my good friend Carlos. How are you, my friend?
Maybe Sir Reginald will have a better luck with one of these ladies.
Yeah, y'all do the air kiss thing, and then he motions you to sit down, he sits down and offers you a drink. You can see his bar from where you're sitting, and it is better stocked than a British passenger liner.
Ah, and what are we drinking today, Carlos?
Rum, my friend, the true drink of kings.
This is true, but the question is from where? I mean, are we talking Puerto Rican or are we talking Haitian?
Cuban, the best.
Ah, you understood my trick question. It is so pleasurable to always drink with you.
What brings you to my doorstep?
You have a terrible Spanish accent.
Shut up! This is why I don't do role playing.
And you're Mexican. Come on.
Everything used to be Scottish, okay? You can ask my wife. Like everything. Or Southern.
Don't worry, other characters are also Scottish.
The Italian is Scottish. The Chinese is Scottish.
I gotta watch for the Scotch Chinese.
This is why I don't role play.
Well, I guess we know what your bedroom. Never mind.
That only requires mouths for one thing.
Yeah, sure.
Possibly too.
Unless you role play it.
Anyway, I was in that rum. That's some fine shit. Anyway, I heard of a recent discovery of one of my favorite gods.
Which god is that?
Well, certainly not the Christian one as you and I believe, but the heathen of heathens, Sekhmet himself.
Oh, that's a spit up. Sorry.
That works in character and out.
Yes, it does.
She just erupted all over my desk.
Apparently, you guys are drinking too much rum.
This is why I like drinking with you, Carlos. No, no one's gonna come up.
Oh my. Yeah, are you happy about that? Are you pleased with yourself?
Quite so, Papa.
Okay.
And now when you look
He
down at your daughter, you're going to hear Patrick Stewart's voice.
Anyway, he looks at you shrewdly and asks you what you know of Sekhmet.
Well, I know I spent 5 years in Upper Egypt looking for the Temple of Sekhmet and 2 more in Lower. And I know that somebody found something that had Sekhmet's cartouche on it, and then promptly disappeared.
My friend, you can find 16 different Sekhmet cartouches in every stall in the market. You must be more specific.
This one has apparently made even the Empire queasy.
Oh, you speak of the temple.
Yes. And while I'm certain that we have little concern for the desecration, shall we say, that's going on at the mosque,
Liberation. Liberation.
certainly, but you must have contacts amongst the imams that you keep.
One or two.
So what are they saying? Did they know that they had an ancient temple under their mosque?
Well, apparently they. Yeah, I'm just dropping the accents.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
Apparently, they consulted their oldest records and found that the ancient Muslims who built this area did know they were building on top of a religious site. They didn't know who particularly or really care because it was a heathen god and they must be struck down.
That's fair.
And, building current religious sites on top of old religious sites is something a lot of people have done.
Yeah, ancient tradition.
He said this has caused much unrest among the local populace. The imams are barely keeping things under control and turning violent, um, more through fear of the British rather than any desire to keep the population safe.
Have any of
Because
the local British citizenry approached the temple or the embassy with interest in the temple?
there was a visitor from the embassy recently, but they were while they were welcomed, they were not allowed past the mosque. There was apparently quite a row.
Fight, you say? Interesting.
There was a representative from the British Museum who likewise has disappeared. A lot of people disappearing lately.
Any obvious connection to the British troops at the mosque and the disappearances?
They don't answer anything directly except turning people away. But they are taking in, like I said earlier, all kinds of manpower and supplies and, archaeological equipment and stuff. And they're bringing out loads and loads of dirt and such. But they're just honestly dumping it to the side of the entrance. They're not taking it very far.
All right. So the next question is, how do we get in? Do we walk through the front door or do we sneak in?
Carlos tells you that going through the front door is a very bad idea, for they are inspecting everyone and anyone who even approaches. The sketchier you seem, or the more legitimate you seem, either end, apparently the more rigorous the interrogation. He has several options for you if you do want to get in, of course, with a nominal fee for the privilege. One option, he does control the entrance to the sewers. That was his guy the other night. And you can try your luck down there. However, he has received word of people in the sewers preying on the would-be treasure hunters that are not affiliated with him, so he can't promise your safety if you go down there, you know. But he has also been sending guys down there to try and take apart the walling off slowly and quietly. And usually those guys come back mainly because they very obviously have nothing worth anything and could potentially lead you to the breach.
Now, one other thought: we could stir the pot and get the locals to bum rush the moss and slip in while they're busy.
That was a thought that had been uh, proposed at one of his councils, was to incite a riot and then just get as many people inside as possible, and it would be fairly easy to do. The pot is very stirred. It is on a light boil right now. It could turn into a hard boil real quick. Another word is that they are taking in workers at least once a week, a new batch of workers, and he could potentially grease the right palms and get you in as workers. They don't look at them too hard.
Mm.
So
Multi-pronged
multiple
then.
options.
We go in disguised as workers and see if we can't trigger that riot to occur while we're already inside.
We could do that. Okay. Hi. Okay, so that the route we want to take, go in disguised as workers and have a riot going outside just to further distract the guards. Yes, no.
See, I worry that if we have simultaneous trying to slip in as workers and inciting the guards, we could get caught up in the confusion. If we're inside already, how do we signal the start to a mess? And at that point, do we really need a riot to start?
Carlos has people he could plant in the crowd as agents provocateurs if you wanted to. Just synchronize timing and all that. But that is entirely up to you. That would expose his hand a lot more than just getting you in as workers.
I don't know if we really need a riot because workers die and just don't come back all the time. They're not going to notice if we come up missing or care. Well, they might notice, but they ain't going to care.
Yes, and he has a way to get your equipment in as tools and such, so there wouldn't be a concern there.
I don't think we need a riot.
Think of Stargate the movie when they were bringing that load into the temple,
Ah, yes.
and everything was fine until they pulled the the hood off of O'Neill.
Surprise.
So okay, so
Alright,
let's
so
just go in
sneaky no
with the
riot.
no riot. All sneaky. Okay. Before we do that, I am going to have to build some more stuff. I'm going to call it for tonight. Very short and sweet intro, but we have a plan of attack. Perfectly honest, I never thought of you guys trying to just walk up and show credentials. That would have been annoying.
I almost wanted to, but seems like you were really hinting away from that.
Get away from the legitimate approach. Stop it. Now, I will say, having never played this particular system before, I'm gonna have to work on uh, appropriately leveling the bad guys. So I may kill more of you than I intend through this campaign. Just heads up.
Well, I'm the bullet sponge. I've got things that stabilize me and keep me undead for short periods of time. So, if you need a bullet sponge, I'm the one.
We do have a tank. We have a tank. He's just not here tonight.
Cricket is also repairable and relatively expendable.
Okay, so we have two tanks.
It's all right. So, multiple characters to test efficacy on.
Okay, I am gonna go deal with my little one.